today from nearby the site of their Blue Mountain project in Queensland, from a town called Monto, is Nick Tulloch, the Executive Chairman of ECR Minerals. Nick, thank you for your taking the time to speak to us. How are things?
Yeah, all good, thanks, Mark. Good to see you. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm literally just off site in a very glamorous motel room, as you can see behind me.
Indeed. Well, just before we talk about Blue Mountain and the work you've been doing there, what's the purpose of the trip? I think you're there for sort of just over a week, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, the purpose of the trip is we've got some fairly critical work we're undertaking at Blue Mountain, which we'll come on and talk about. And I was keen to be here for part of that. I always take the opportunity when I'm in Australia to meet some of the counterparties we work with and some of the sort of prospective counterparties we may choose to work with. So I spent a little bit of time in Melbourne, a bit of time in Sydney, and then came up to Queensland.
Excellent. Good. So Blue Mountain then. We can see some pictures. It looks like you're doing a bit of drilling.
Yeah, we have sorry, I'm sort of losing my voice today, but we have a drilling rig on site. This is actually the same rig that's going to go up to Lolworth in the next week or two. The purpose of the rig is it's a very efficient way of determining the ground conditions. What we're looking to do in Blue Mountain is to work out basically where to trench. This is an alluvial resource. You know, we will trench the top sort of 4 or 5 meters of the ground, and then put that through a gravity-fed processor. What the rig will do is, in about 20 minutes, it will drill a hole. In fact, probably 20 minutes is a fairly sort of lengthy time based on what I saw today. But yeah, in under 20 minutes, he'll drill a hole. We can then pan off those samples to have a look and see what visible gold there is. It's a whole lot faster than doing bulk sample trenching and a whole lot more efficient, and we're getting through a much greater level of the ground. And yeah, you can see some of the bags that were produced whilst I was out on site today. These, by the way, all these photos were taken just a few hours ago, so this is literally hot off the press.
Okay, excellent. So you do the drilling to effectively, help you discover where you want to trench. So you're doing the drilling. In 20 minutes, you get the samples back up. So then you say you pan them. So I think this is the panning indeed happening. So traditional gold panning off, and then looking to see visible gold like we can here.
Yeah, actually, that was one of our better pans. It was almost right at the end of the day. Actually, we had, I think, sort of nine separate showings of visible gold in one pan.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. Blue Mountain is an area that extends for many square kilometres. What we don't want to do is be trenching or sort of digging up the entire area. We want to work out where the best hit rate's going to be. So what the rig will do is it will help us determine where the highest grades are within the ground. And we're drilling every sort of 4 or 5 meters in lines that we believe are going to be prospective for gold. What is produced from the drill is then concentrated through a panning process that you saw in the photo just a moment ago, and then we assess whether or not there's visible gold to build up a profile meter by meter of the depth of the holes. And there was a photo I think you showed a few moments ago of a whole series of plastic bags on the ground. What those are is, well, sort of the columns of the plastic bags are the hole number, and then the position of the plastic bag is how deep they are. sorry, excuse me. The position of the plastic bag is how deep the ground is.
Okay, excellent. Well, I can definitely hear your voice is going, so I won't keep you too much longer. Just finally, Nick, so I don't know if you can say how long this program's going to go on for, or the end result of this program, and when you can actually start to really understand those results and actually get those trenches going. As we've talked about before, it's easy enough to get into production, put the gravity spiral on site, and start producing gold from that sort of just below surface alluvial. So just thinking about finishing this program, moving into that trenching, what are we thinking here in terms of time and steps to get there?
Well, we've actually quite considerably extended the preparatory work we're doing, both over the last few weeks, and we're also going to sort of carry on over the next couple of weeks. I say having the rig on site has made a huge difference to the speed and the ability to get to understand the ground conditions, and it just makes sense while we've got the rig to actually really go to town on the area. So what we were discussing today, in fact, Adam, our geologist, and I had a drive around the property. And we've identified several other areas that we're going to use the rig on. And this is not a long process. As I say, if it's 20 minutes to drill a hole, and that includes preparation, and you're drilling holes every sort of 4 or 5 meters. In the space of a day, you can cover one gully or one area fairly efficiently, and that just gives us an idea as to what the prospective gold resource might be in those ground conditions, and therefore when we come to go into full production, are we trenched in the right place? So we're spending more time in Blue Mountain than we initially anticipated. That's a positive, because the results, there's not many plastic bags in that photograph, but the results are very much what we would hope them to be. And what we're seeing, and I don't know quite if readers can sort of zoom in on those bags, but what we're seeing is shows of visible gold at different levels and at different holes. So we're seeing quite a range of gold showings. Now, this is just what we can see. These will eventually all go to lab for a more detailed assessment. But we've previously said that Blue Mountain has an average grade of 0.6 grams per tonne. Way too early to say whether that's high, low, or in the right place. But certainly, some of the pan samples we saw today, and I think the one that you showed on the photo a few minutes ago, where we had nine showings of one pan. I mean, that's very much the top end of expectations. So it just makes sense to spend a bit more time in Blue Mountain. We're still going to Lolworth, by the way. That same rig that you saw on the photos, that was still gone up to Lolworth. But we're probably going to do an extra couple of weeks in Blue Mountain just to really understand the territory.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you, Nick, for taking the time to just talk us through what you're doing. So we'll look forward to seeing some of the fruits of that at the end of your trip, and we'll catch up later.
Fantastic. Well, we'll certainly have more images as sort of the rest of the week goes on, anyway. So there's there'll be a bit more to show later on.
Good. Thank you, Nick, for your time.
Thanks, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like, or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.